Bitcoin has cooled off in the last few days, but you're going to want to know why analysts believe 48K is next for Bitcoin. We have Magic Internet Money joining us to break down the charts. We're going to take a look at Avalanche, Solana. We have big news from Polygon. CPI numbers are in. What does that mean? Is Bitcoin going to have its big run up despite a recession? We got more on that. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it.
Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, stale information, repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way. Bitcoin rebounding a little bit, but not really. 41,000. We're going to trade consolidate between 41
consolidate
and 45. Gonna be a snooze fest at Bitcoin, but that's good news for altcoins. Is altcoin season here, Dave?
Yes. Avalanche season is here. By the way, we have an Avalanche video coming. And if you're not a member, you might want to be a member because we identified 2 Avalanche ecosystem tokens. So if you want the alpha before anyone else, sign up, become a member. You'll not only be supporting the channel, but you'll be getting all the alpha first. Speaking of first, Bitcoin washout is completed and is ready for $48,000. Multiple analysts are saying, but this article is referencing Mike Alfred, who's a crypto value investor, said this was a textbook washout that was necessary to liquidate speculators. The drop and bounce, Alfred further explained, has wiped out open interest and exactly what you want to see before prices recover, possibly edging the $48,000 in the coming weeks. Now, we take a look at last cycle, right? In August 2020, going into the big bull market of 2021, we're seeing a similar price action, similar structure on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. We saw 6, 7, 8 green candles consolidate essentially. Bulls push the price up, bears push the price down, and we closed where we opened, which is why you see that tiny body and then uptrend resumed. We're seeing something very similar here. Although the pullback currently, with 5 days left until this candle closes, has been a lot steeper than the last little fragment that I showed you. But nonetheless, 8 straight weeks of growth on the weekly chart, consolidation. Robin, what came after that week-long consolidation was a 7% candle. A 7% candle would put us right under 48K, between $47,100 and $48,000. Do you buy into 50K by the end of the year? Has anything changed your mind? Because we spoke about this last week, but things change. Price action changes. You have Elizabeth Warren trying to shut crypto down. You have Jamie Dimon said, I would shut it down. Has your thesis changed on Bitcoin going into the end of the year?
Only if there's any legitimate rumors, maybe something from a credible source on ETFs being approved in January, like say the first week of January. Remember the ETF determination for was it ARK, right?
ARK is first.
That one's due on January 10th. So more than likely we will be made aware of the ETF approval a couple days before. If you were just to look at the futures ETF from Bitcoin, it was pretty similar about a weekend. I think it went live on a Monday, and then the Friday before, we got rumors that it was going to be approved and trading on Monday. And so 2 to 3 days before, I would put it at January 7th. So maybe,
Robin,
maybe there's rumors before.
I want to know, where's that Cointelegraph intern? Can you throw up another article there? Intern at Cointelegraph?
You're talking about the FUD, right?
It wasn't FUD, it was speculation.
Yeah, it was
but it was not
a fake article.
But still, the market's pumped. Where's that pump? For me, I've been saying towards the end of last month, I think 52 to 54K is where I think Bitcoin's going to be by the end of the year. If you look historically what Bitcoin price action has done, December is typically a negative return month, but we've seen December come out swinging. In fact, let me pull up CoinGlass here. We can take a look at the monthly returns on BTC to see where it's been. And so Bitcoin returns. So Bitcoin on the monthly, 9.43%. You can see this is only the second time over the last 6 years that we've seen a green month of December. The other one was in 2020, where we saw a 47% increase in Bitcoin in the month of December. We're currently a smidge under 10%. And guys, if you look at how this entire year has played out, right? We've only had 3 red months, which is the best year we've had since 2017. Think about that, right? All year, we've been talking about, are we in a bull market? Are we in a bear market? What's going on? Bitcoin has outperformed 9 out of the last 12 months if December stays green. And the biggest loss we had was an 11.29% decrease in the month of August. Now, after 2017, what we saw happen, we saw a 38% rise in Bitcoin in December. We saw a pullback of 25%, and then the markets kind of stayed steady. We saw a drawdown, and then we saw a big rally in April. This was the 2018 was when the bear market was, and then leading into the COVID era, 46%, and then 3 straight months of double-digit growth in 2021. Are we going to see something similar going into 2024? Especially like Rob mentioned with the ETF around the corner. I don't know. What do you think about all these returns and everything I'm talking about here?
I think the ETF is going to bring volatility, and with volatility, I think we're going to get a dramatic run up for January, February, and then we're gonna consolidate. We're gonna come back down to earth. So I do think that we cross all-time highs with ETF. Do you buy? I was listening to some other channels. You buy this idea that this could be a sell the rumor kind of event?
No.
Where
you mean buy the rumor, sell the news?
Yeah.
No.
And well, here's so the narrative here that I'm trying to discuss is, well, you got the announcement of the ETF. Once it says it's going live, right?
Okay.
What's going to happen? The price of Bitcoin is going to shoot up, right? And so let's just say, hey, it's approved. It's going to be trading on Monday, right? If that's the case, then as soon as that's announced, Bitcoin's price is going to shoot up. We could see probably $53,000 Bitcoin, right? Somewhere in there, I think probably realistic.
53?
Yeah, somewhere between, I would say between 50 and 55,000.
When it gets approved?
Yeah, before it goes live, just off of the news.
Depending on where we're at, I see a 15 to 20% move.
Okay, so you don't think it'll go over 50,000?
No, it will. Yeah, it will, because I think,
Okay,
so again, end of December, I think we're going to be between 50 and 54, 52 and 54, 10 to 15%. You're looking at a
You think within the next 2.5 weeks we'll go from 40,000 to 50 to 54,000?
I do.
Without an ETF being approved?
Yep.
Just off of the market moving that direction?
Yeah. Off the hype, off of more seeding potentially from Franklin Templeton just had a meeting with the SEC. We're seeing Google change its policies on advertising. We're seeing the SEC add a crypto assets segment tab to their website. Things are coming into place, and people are going to start speculating more. Going to drive the price of Bitcoin up. Also, what better gift to get your family than Bitcoin for Christmas, right? That should spur a purchasing event. Now, before we bring Magic on, there's a video. Anthony Scaramucci, the founder of Skybridge Capital, $2 billion in assets under management. He was on Bloomberg. And interesting what he had to say. And he referenced the spot ETF as well. So let's take a listen.
So this big run for Bitcoin, first of all, we should know it. I mean, it's played a pretty big role, I would imagine, in your 2023 returns. What's performance been like for Skybridge this year?
So our core fund, which is sort of a diversified multi-strat, is having a very good year. It's up about 25%. Our coin fund, which has things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, some Solana, things like that, is up about 130. Obviously, our Bitcoin fund's probably up 127. These are returns as of last night. But listen, I had a difficult year last year, so I say all of those numbers with great humility. There's lots of volatility in the market. While I do think that the ETF is coming and likely coming the first or possibly second week of January, a lot of strange things have happened in the world of digital assets. So, but I will say this, even if we get rug pulled by someone like Gary Gensler and they somehow pump where he's the proverbial Lucy to us in the industry as Charlie Brown, I don't really think it's going to matter. I think the exponential growth of wallets and the exponential adoption of Bitcoin globally is going to push prices higher into 2024.
I mean,
Rob, do you agree with that? Regardless of an ETF, 2024, we're going to see new all-time highs? Typically, right, last cycles,
Deep.
halving happens, and then a year later is when we get the all-time high.
I would say deep into 2024, yeah.
Without an ETF.
Without an ETF. If for some reason it wasn't approved.
I think that's extremely unlikely.
Extremely unlikely, yeah. But yeah, I think just the natural cycle with the halving, post-halving put us at a new all-time high by the end of the year, probably October, November next year. Well, with that scenario aside, realistically, I do think once the ETF is approved, we'll get all-time highs there shortly after. I would say within the 3 months. My personal.
You know what else is at an all-time high? It's our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you own a business and you want to maximize your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity, you're going to want to call Cam's Blue Wire Tech. Or if you're not the person to pick up the phone and you prefer a website, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. We have Magic Internet Money joining us to break down some charts. Joins us every single Tuesday. We love having him on. Magic, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Good, man. We miss you, man. It's been too long in a week.
It's cold up here. I'm gonna have to come down there soon.
Hey, man, the
Cold
door's
here,
always
too.
open, bro. You come here. We got a red couch. If you don't want to buy a hotel, you can stay with Robin. Robin's got what, 3 extra bedrooms, bro?
Why are you always inviting people to stay at my house, man?
Yeah, just hang out with Larry Bird.
Twice in
Yeah.
a week.
Larry Bird. Oh, man. Magic, we started off the show talking about analysts are saying 48K is coming for Bitcoin. We did see a washout. We saw some liquidations. Bitcoin came down. It is currently sitting at $41,315, up almost 1% on the day. What is the Bitcoin chart looking like? What's the structure telling us? And how likely is 48K in, let's say, the next 6 to 10 days?
6 to 10 days is a stretch for me, but I'll show you what the chart looks like a little bit. What's kind of holding us back here and just some key areas. But I actually do agree that, that's my target, and it has been for January for me, time-wise, since the summer. So I'm sticking to that until something breaks, and I'll kind of go through what levels I'd want to see to kind of invalidate that as well. So
Cool.
We'll go ahead and share the chart. And, right away, there's only 2 boxes on this chart that are really that important to me. This one's actually comprised of a lot of different information from prior quarters and prior 6-month chunks of price. So these are, horizontal averages. I bring them on your guys' show almost every week. So hopefully people are picking up on that. They are averages of price from quarter 4 of 2021, quarter 2 of 2022, and then the 6-month average from 2021. If you scroll to the left, on like the daily chart, and you just take a look at what these were doing, back when they were generated, when they were relevant, so to speak, for lack of a better term, this is your high here, your low. You've also got the dump here off of the all-time high. So these were fairly important areas of the chart. And they're just kind of serving up as an inflection point for us currently, local price action wise. If we clear this box, which is actually an area I was looking to take a short out of, which was successful, obviously. Then yeah, I'm going to look towards the weekly open and this level up here at 44,540. Anything above 44,540 on a daily closure. And I think that, those targets where we were just talking about 48K, 46K, those kind of become a reality. But I am actually looking for lower prices still before we get that move, to be fully transparent with you. Main reason I'm looking for that is there's just a lot beneath us, and we have a lot of support down here. So it really is kind of a region. But if I was to narrow it down and kind of clean it up a little bit for you, I'll show you why. This is the first of the year. We're coming into the final month of the year. I'm a big averages guy, as you know. Some people call it mean reversion trading, but it's all statistics at the end of the day. This would be the second month in a row that we haven't hit our monthly average, which really doesn't occur all that often. The last time it occurred was back here on our move down. We didn't hit it here. We actually missed it by a day here, so technically it was not struck. And then we would expect this third one to get hit because it's only happened, I want to say, 3 times in Bitcoin's entire history where we went 3 months without hitting the average. So it rarely even comes up as a scenario. So for me, I'm still looking for the average of price for December to be hit. That would be 9 touches out of 12 on the year, and the average is 77.9% lifetime for Bitcoin. So really right in line with, you know, what the averages would say. So I'm still looking for, you know, mid 36s to 37.7. If I don't get that, it's not the end of the world. That's just where I'm looking to buy the dip potentially. And then from there, you know, the uptrend's still very well intact. Now, I do start to get more concerned if we start giving up this like 36.5 region on more of a closing basis, like more than just like a daily, something like a weekly, start living underneath there, like a monthly. You know, one reason to really kind of throw a pause at that is, you know, if we zoomed out to the monthly chart, for instance, this is a pretty bullish chart. If you were to mark out like your prior month's high and then maybe mark out the current monthly open, and we'll turn this one to blue so that you know it's the open at 37,727, which is where this box comes in at this weekly naked point of control and our monthly pivot beneath it, right? So our monthly average. Giving this up on like a high time frame, like closing the month below this, would actually look kind of, I wouldn't say bearish inherently, but it would look like we're probably going to get a pullback and retest the last section of consolidation, which, you know, comes in right here, right around like 32K. And I think that's in line with a lot of other people wanting to see that retest of market structure. So if we're going to see that retest of that 32K region, which, you know, really is the level that you want to be holding on to if you're looking for this rally to continue in the medium and short term, you know, that you're going to give these levels up between 38.5 and 37.7. A couple wicks beneath it does not really concern me. But, you know, if you start living underneath here, you're going to start really looking for retraces. You can do very common things at that time. You can do everything from volume profile to, you know, just fibs and say, okay, well, I'd be looking for right around 30K as a pullback. If we wicked into this area and still held the top of this structure, that would still be bullish, you know, things like that. But you really aren't looking for that move until you give up 38.5 and 37.7, and vice versa to the upside is you really have to have these averages, you know, between 42,670 and 42,022, that little zone, fairly important to get back above. They were really, really prominent levels in prior bull runs, and I think they'll remain so. And then you can kind of tie it into the local, you know, time frames. You can say, okay, what's my December range look like? This is your December range. One thing to note about this, you know, little education is you have a nice B shape here. And the reason you want to kind of denote that is you need to dissect this now into 2 sections of price because you have a big volume gap here. You'll move through it fairly quickly. So I would trade this as a range, meaning that this is a range and this is a range, right? So if we clear that box, we're clearly breaking out of our lower range, and we would target the highs of the upper range up in this region pretty quickly. So because a lot of people will go long here thinking it's guaranteed you're going to the point of control because, you know, that's what they teach you about trading volume profile, but the shape of this one does suggest otherwise for right now. So, you know, maybe it roots around here at the lows and doesn't put in a new low, and we break back up and get above these levels here. You do have a fairly easy $1,000 move up, maybe more. And then you can play the game of, you know, do I want to take some profits or do I want to hold for those higher levels? But yeah, until we really formally lose the trend, which for me is, you know, start living below 37.7, 36.5. You know, things are fine. This thing can cool off a little bit more even.
So Magic, what is your price prediction for the end of the year, Bitcoin?
Sure.
Over $300 million.
I don't necessarily have an end of the year, but I will show you like some charts that I've been working off on the high time frame. For me, I really wanted the golden pocket. I think everyone and their dog was in it. That was good though. The Joe Biden clips are just,
he's great.
You know, people said it was a boring presidency after Trump because, you know, he did provide a ton of entertainment.
He did.
But Joe Biden, he's really doing his best to keep us going.
Thank you,
know?
Joe.
Oh, where is it?
Oatmeal, man. It's oatmeal in the morning and make you live till you're 200 years old.
Steel cut oatmeal though, not regular oatmeal. You know.
Oh, yeah, the steel cut. Yeah,
I
there
like
you
the
go.
rolled. I'm
And
all
we'll,
rolled, bro.
Oh, rolled oats, great.
Yeah.
So for me, looking at things from a timing perspective, I was looking for this. When you were saying, I'm looking for January for a high potentially. I'm looking for a move like so. This has been my thesis since the middle of the summer. If it comes up a little short here, I'll be disappointed, of course. But I'm looking for right around 48 to 50K. But it could stretch into like the 52K region. I heard you say 52 to 54 earlier. And that is not out of the realm of possibility at all, because you did have, I got the brush on. You had some untapped things up here that would basically be targets later on. Like this quarter one pivot was actually a really great trade if you took it the day early. Was looking for this overall high to be taken. You just took it a couple days before the average at 52,217 was generated. So price will usually revisit these and respect them as support and resistance later on. And that would actually take out all these highs locally here, including the 2022 high, which is a little bit further down. But that would be a target as well. So it's really more of a zone once you get up here. It's kind of hard to say. There's a lot up here, just like there was a lot of support back at like that 36.5 to 37.7 region. But yeah, everything's fine as of right now. But the thing is you kind of have to be, you got to be malleable in this market. You got to be ready to shift gears if new information comes in and it says to, especially on the charts.
Yeah.
I don't get too much into the news and speculate on like ETFs and stuff, because I really ultimately have no control over that. It's not going to really aid me in too many decisions.
I think it's important what you said, Magic. Don't fall in love or marry a trade or be afraid to be wrong and pivot, because that's how you get wrecked. And take it from someone who, when I first started trading, I was like, no way, I'm wrong, and then you end up getting wrecked by not following the reason you got into that chart in the first place. Magic, I do want to ask you for one more chart. Avalanche hasn't been running; it's been sprinting. That thing went from 9 to 14 to 17. It hung around 22, which when I came on the show and I said I picked up some Avalanche at $20, Robin said I'm dumb money. Well, I got a 2X, Robin, and it's been 2 weeks. So what do you got to say now? I don't want to hear what you have to say. That was a rhetorical question. But Magic, AVAX, it is cooling off. What are some upside targets? And is this where we can expect to maybe consolidate a little bit, right around this $37, $38 range?
Yeah. So this is a chart that I actually have not updated. I don't even know how long it's been. But it's got one level on there at 39.17, which we've struck. You've got a pretty good pullback on it. You're looking at the overall highs of your range right here in terms of like this breakdown. So you really do need to claim about $39, or you could, be a little more aggressive and call it a $37.99. But we'll just put a box there because everybody loves a good box, right? So we'll go ahead and do this, and maybe we will. Like so. And if you were to get back above this area, you can see that you don't really have a whole lot of resistance between you and the next region. So, above here, I'm actually going to extend this to the left too, because I just want to see what it looks like over here. Yeah. Above here, good things can happen. I would suspect you're probably going to come back up and back test, somewhere between $50 and $56 at that time. Maybe even on the upper end, if you're lucky, into like the $60 range. But man, you don't really have any resistance that's relevant between here and there. Yeah, so if you clear $39, I really do think that the odds of you hitting 56 to $60 is pretty good. But you gotta clear this box first. So if things start pulling back from here, you've got a lot of averages that are coming in for the next year that are going to start generating. And they're just like Bitcoin. They hit on a certain rate, it just depends. Be curious to see what its 60-day quarterly by quarterly look like. Yeah, everything's coming in down here around $30. So if you start finding this as resistance and you're not getting any further move up, and you're looking for the potential mean reversion, hey, I want to buy back in lower. I took profits up here because I was the best trader ever and I sold the top. It's assuming it is. I would be looking somewhere between 29 and like $30 to $33, straight off the rip anyway. And then anything below that, and you're pretty much coming all the way back down to this basing right around like $20. But that's getting way ahead of ourselves. So $39, anything above that, and I think you're looking at another 25 to 30% run.
Let's go. AVAX is pumping, man. Guys, by the way, I didn't mention in the beginning of the show, got an AVAX video dropping today. It'll go to members first. So if you're not a member, you want to get that alpha before anyone else does, make sure to sign up. Also, make sure to go to leadingcrypto.io. We do have the website link pinned to the top of the chat. If you want more Magic Internet money, if you want to get in his Discord and you want to see his trades, Magic, we love having you on, brother. Thank you so much. Is there anything you would like to any parting words?
No, I mean, we're coming into the holidays, guys. Crypto is a lot of fun in December. So don't forget to take time away from that. Spend time with your family. They're the ones that are, there for you when crypto is not, even though it's a 24/7 market. So, happy holidays to you guys.
Screw that, man. I'm telling my kids, go play upstairs. I'm trading some leverage. Just kidding.
There you go.
Very well said.
Not right now. Daddy's leverage trading.
Go play outside. Go do something. I just spent $500 on your Christmas presents. Go use them. All jokes aside, Magic, thank you so much, man. We love having you on. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to bringing you on again next week, man. Take care.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Peace.
I feel like you're gonna trade away the Christmas money. No.
What if I
presents.
already did?
By Avalon.
Robin, why don't we give some love to the chat?
All right. So if you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. First of all, I want to ask also the chat where the likes
bro?
at. We got 50 likes, less than 30% like ratio. We also got 173 people. So I'd like to be over 200 viewers, over 200 likes. No, that's all I want for Christmas. So open up the club.
All I want for Christmas.
Stop. Stop.
I don't have the button for that.
All right. So to the new people here, you got Malcolm Crypto Slab, Dave P, Rogue Glide. We also got CVO Crypto up in here. What's up? And then Zoltan and Clark Farrell. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City.
Also, Cryptic Mushroom. I believe you DM me on Discord. Just verify that it's you, my friend. You know a lot of stuff on Discord. Someone DM their Bitcoin address. Just put a thumbs up if it was you, and we'll send you your $50 in Bitcoin. We have not forgotten. We don't forget here at Sincere Crypto. Well, you know who might also forget about his negative Bitcoin, negative crypto sentiment? It's Donald Trump. So this is from Van Eck. Van Eck analysts predict that Donald Trump's presidential victory in 2024, if he wins, would lead to a dismantling of the SEC's hostile regulatory approach and the price of Bitcoin to soar past $100,000. This is a headline. Donald Trump predicted to trigger a 2024 $2 trillion Bitcoin price boom. Interesting. You think all the Ethereum he's gotten, Robin, from the Trump digital cards, from there's a couple Trump tokens that are donating to his campaign. Just real quick, what do you make of that?
But why? Why would he? Why would this pump the markets? No, I know what you're saying, but like realistically, why has he changed or flip-flopped?
Can anyone be worse than Joe Biden when it comes to crypto? Do you see any candidate right now, Robin, that would be worse than Joe Biden's administration?
He's a walking sofa cushion. He can't make any decisions.
Exactly. So he's got people like Elizabeth Warren, but he's got people like Gary Gensler. Those are the ones he put in place. I'm saying, could it get worse with the candidates we have now? Is Donald Trump worse? Is Vivek worse?
Okay.
Is Robert Kennedy worse?
Look, he's made money off of crypto, or he's made money off of NFTs, right? Which they paid with Ethereum. But you think Donald Trump got sent Ethereum?
Hell yeah. His wallet still holds Ethereum. He hasn't sold it. He's a hodler.
You
man.
think it's his personal
He's actually
wallet?
staking on Lido.
Like, stop.
Yeah, sure.
So, anyways, people
bought it 4 days.
People bought NFTs with Ethereum, which I'm sure when he realized how much money he made, he didn't say, how much Ethereum did we get? No. Can you do a Biden impersonation on asking how much Ethereum he received?
What do you mean?
Over $1,300,300 million.
No, I meant to say Trump. Can you get a Trump impersonation on how much?
This thing was huge. 300 million. I like it.
Anyways, he is not crypto. He's not pro crypto.
He's not.
He's not. And he's going to come into office. And if he made money off of crypto, he ain't going to give it due credit. I mean, if there's one thing Donald Trump is good at, is using the people around him and not giving them credit and then taking all the credit for himself. Like,
Jesus.
let's be real. I'm not saying the dude is a bad politician. I'm just saying that there's a lot of showboating and gloating, and I did this, and
Most
so
beautiful
anyways,
Ethereum wallet.
so I have a hard time believing he's gonna come into office and be like, you know what, this crypto thing got me reelected. It padded the campaign.
So I think even if
dimensions,
that was true,
and
he wouldn't
so-
give credit to us people.
No, he's not gonna give credit to anything. He's just gonna say that the U.S. monetary system is big and beautiful, and
Mike Volmer brought up a good point. He said Trump's son is big on crypto. Well, Peter Schiff's son is also big on crypto, or was. And we know Peter Schiff was still calling for Bitcoin to go to zero. Come on, Peter. You're going to lose credibility, bro. Just stop. Just stop. You're a smart guy. Just stop it. Speaking of crazy people who love to be in the spotlight, Richard Hart has officially been served. Get ready for 2024.
got him.
So this is from the Securities and Exchange Committee, or the Eastern District of New York, SEC versus Richard Schuler, aka Richard Hart, Hex, Pulse Chain, Pulse X. Jury trial demanded. I demand a trial by combat or a trial by jury. He's in Finland,
how did a
apparently.
jury trial go over last time with old SBF? They convicted on all charges. What was it, like 8 charges? 7
Hey, at least
charges?
he got his medicine on the laptop, okay?
Oh.
Let's get into CPI numbers came out
He's
today.
gonna get his medicine, and he's gonna be sitting on somebody's laptop. You know what I'm saying?
What the So CPI, we are trending down 3.1%. Headline CPI. The biggest loser here was energy, which is good for prices at the pump, as the energy sector in total is down 5.4%, fuel oil down 24%, and gasoline down almost 10%. Now the core, so minus food and energy, is 4%, which is what they forecasted. So we are trending down on CPI. And then this was kind of interesting. This is on the actual Federal Reserve website. Buying eggs with Bitcoin. So this chart, I swear to God, this is the price of eggs in dollars. This is the price of eggs in Bitcoin.
Hold on. Is there any other
I didn't
Bitcoin?
I didn't look deeper. I will find out tonight, and I'll share it
This is,
tomorrow.
Do you have the chart with the fava beans to Bitcoin? Or like-
No, lima beans. Yes.
No. The reason I ask is if they only put eggs, obviously the price of eggs have shot up, so maybe they're trying to
But that would
downplay the movement of Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, but all I'm saying is, guys, look at this. Eggs versus Bitcoin, eggs versus the dollar. So what does that tell you? Buy Bitcoin. Also, we have this.
That's what it tells you.
That's what it tells me, baby. Buy Bitcoin.
The federal government has told you to buy Bitcoin. You can get more return on eggs.
You know, this is this is something I've been keeping an eye on. You guys know I enjoy macro. So this is delinquency rate on credit card loans, okay? This has been trending up. It's essentially going vertical, coming in at 2.98%. 2.98%.
Is that my credit report?
That is, it can be your credit report. So we are approaching highs we have not seen since Q2 of 2012. This was when it was on the way down from the collapse of 2007, 2008. So inflation is coming down, but people are still having to use their credit cards, and now they're having a hard time paying them back, and they're just saying, screw it. We did have Raul Paul in this video with Laura Shin talked about going into next year macro and how that ties into Bitcoin and how he expects Bitcoin and the crypto markets to react if there is a credit event or a recession going into 2024.
Forward looking. So most people are saying, well, we're probably around a recession. We're seeing unemployment go up, blah, blah, blah. Crypto knew about this last year because it's forward looking. It actually trades on liquidity conditions. And I do a lot of macroeconomic research at my research company, Global Macro Investor. And for us, the liquidity cycle just keeps going for the next 2 years. So we will see a bottoming of the economy, maybe Q1, Q2 of next year, that people will visibly start to see things improving, but the markets are already trading it. The equity market's already almost back at the all-time highs, crypto markets ripping because they're discounting this. if we live that 6 months in the future, are the Fed likely to be raising rates or cutting rates? Cutting rates. At worst, they don't do anything. But that's so the probability is for easing of liquidity conditions. Is there a chance, because we're going to an election year, that they stimulate with fiscal stimulus? Pretty much 100% chance they'd like to buy votes. So 2024 is all about stimulus and economic recovery. That's a very, very, very good backdrop. And that's the transition from crypto and macro spring into crypto macro summer. And that crypto summer, is we're starting to see growth pick up, but inflation's not picking up yet. It's still falling from the lagging effects of the old cycle. So inflation is not a problem, growth is going up, and liquidity is coming into the system. That's like the perfect environment.
Rob, what do you think about what he said, right? He's saying we're going to see liquidity, we're going to see fiscal stimulus. If that happens, right, spot ETF is live, been live for 4, 5, 6 months. Summer leading into the election, fiscal stimulus, Fed starts, or the Treasury starts printing money, Fed starts airdropping money, or whatever the case may be, or forgiving debt, or pausing on credit card debt. The interest on credit cards is at 27%. So more of people's discretionary income is going into paying their bills versus potentially investing in something like Bitcoin or crypto. If all those things come together,
you don't even need all those things to come together. The market for Bitcoin is going in the right direction, up and to the right. We're going to break all-time highs next year, regardless of what happens with the ETF. The ETF is going to pass anyways. You got the halving coming up, post-halving to follow, obviously. And then on top of that, it's just been a while before people made money in Bitcoin. And you know what happens when people get bored and they see that the bottom is a long ways away. They just start buying Bitcoin. So where we're getting at is institutions are piling in. We can look at all the different metrics. We could talk about inflation. We could talk about printing. We could talk about the Federal Reserve, adoption. It's all trending in the right direction. They're all steps in a ladder. But even if you remove one rung, we're still going to get up to where we need to. I just don't think there's enough. The only thing that's going to stop us from breaking all-time highs would be a tremendous recessionary depression event in the markets globally, maybe some geopolitical war where the U.S. markets tank for some odd reason. And even then, a flight to safety might be Bitcoin. And so that might not even be it, man. So I can find very few narratives that suppress the price of Bitcoin to the point it doesn't break all-time highs next year. And right now there is 2.5 weeks left of 2023. And in 2024, we will break all-time highs. Do you agree we will break all-time highs next year?
I believe we'll break our all-time highs in the first half of next year.
I agree as well.
Maybe even the first quarter of next year.
Even if it isn't in the first quarter, even if it isn't in the first
100%,
half,
100%.
It will eclipse by the end of the year.
70K? It's less than a 2x, bro.
Yeah.
Man, if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. Right? Recession talk, credit card delinquencies are up, housing markets in shambles, interest rates are sky high, people can't get loans. Bitcoin's still going to make all-time highs. Imagine when the liquidity comes in. Imagine if there's stimulus. Imagine once people realize dirty fiat is destroying their lives. And here's this shiny new, it's like raising Simba, right? Here's Bitcoin. Take it. Very pumped up today. The markets are not pumped up today. Just real quick, going over the top 10 here. ETH, 2181. XRP erased all its gains, back down to 61 cents. Solana back under $70. Cardano under 60 cents. Nothing is still up 10% on the last 24 hours. So imagine when Cardano really gets going in the bull market with the amount that's staked, with the community, with what is in the pipeline for Cardano. That is something that if you were picking this up at 25 cents, good for you. Avalanche, $37.51. And rounding out the top 10 is Dog. Dogecoin, 9 pennies. Taking a look at the bubbles here, we have some of the biggest gainers. Atom is up 21.1%. No idea what that is. Celestia up 22%. Kucoin token. Now, this is interesting because some negative Kucoin news coming out. They're leaving New York as they got sued, and they settled with the New York Attorney General. They're going to pay a fine, and they're going to move out of New York. No longer, if you're in New York, you cannot use Kucoin anymore.
I'm just curious. You put anything behind the movement of bonk?
What do you mean? Do I put anything behind it?
No. What are your thoughts? It's in the top 100.
It makes sense.
It's the newest meme coin. Do you think there's more to follow? Obviously, there's a lot of people that are probably. I would say there's a percentage of people that are watching this right now that are speculating on meme coins, that are thinking about putting in a position. Do you think this?
Me personally, I would stay away from bonk. That thing has absolutely rallied. If you look at how much more upside can it have, right? Can it get to Doge, a 10 billion market cap?
It's at 78. I think the maximum returns for bonk as far as market cap and growth would be where Pepe is right now. And where is Pepe at? Oh, Pepelito, where are you at?
It surpassed Pepe.
Did it surpass Pepe?
It jumped, yeah.
Oh, there
There
Pepe,
it is.
yeah. Jesus, man. I didn't realize it passed Pepe.
Yeah. It's to me, it's the rally to make some the risk to reward, right? You got to look at risk to reward ratio. How much risk am I taking versus the reward? In my personal opinion, you are taking way too much risk by entering into something like bonk now for what? A 2x when it could easily.
It's interesting
have a massive
that this bonk came out at the beginning of the year.
Well, look when it started rallying, Robin. It's when Solana started absolutely pumping.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess you guys aren't aware. This is a Solana meme coin.
It's like the Dogecoin of Solana.
Yeah.
That's what people are saying.
And so it's knocked off 2 zeros, so 100x since October.
Bro, it's up 10,000%.
This is the all-time.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the 1 month, it's up 444%. And that's just in the last 30 days.
It's just too risky for me. To me, it's too risky.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, do you see any? Are you interested in looking at, say, meme coins in the Avalanche ecosystem, or
now that would be?
But you see where my thought process is going.
Yes, I would. That would be a better risk to reward ratio for me than putting money into something like bonk. And sure, can you put money in and maybe, 30, 40%?
You're not going to make any real returns on bonk. Like when a meme coin breaks the top 100, you might get a 10x out of it if it does what SHIB did. But outside of that,
let me say something real quick, especially if this is your first market cycle. For every one SHIB, there is thousands of other memes that are launched.
Yeah.
So you have a better chance of winning a $10,000 in a lottery scratch ticket than you do of getting a meme coin early and it going into the top 10 or top 20 like SHIB did or Doge did.
But if I was going to do a meme coin play, I think I would look at Avalanche's meme coin ecosystem, and I would look at
Kronos. Kronos is one that's kind of starting to go. Algorand has been pumping. Phantom is up 10%. So
what about another Cardano? I know there's Snack. That one's kind of fallen by the wayside. Fallen by the wayside.
Oski was one. Snack did good too. That's the thing. You want to the way to make money on these memes is to front run them, right?
Yeah.
Not enter when it's in the top 100.
That's just the market in general. Is Snack the 400? Is this the right one? I mean, could you see something similar out of this? I mean, Snack came out 5 months ago. I mean, could you make an argument that this chart might be in the similar position as? Let's show you something here. So you got the bonk here. Could you make an argument that what we see right here, and we normally don't do this with meme coins, but you know what? Why not? So today Yeah, okay. So you have about a 5 months, 5 months of bonk chart here, right? You had a big run up and then it just kind of died. Eh. like, this one is the snack chart. I mean, did you see something similar to?
Is it possible? Sure. Am I going to risk my money for it? No,
Yeah.
I'm really not. That's me personally.
Because even here, off of its personal or its previous all-time highs, at this point, shortly after release, it's tremendously outperformed. I think, I don't know, something to just keep in mind.
Just be careful. It's not
Yeah.
worth it. We are doing, so every Tuesday, we rate a portfolio submitted by you, our community. And this week, we are rating this portfolio. So this is a $28,000 portfolio. And this person's goal is to 10 to 15x. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look. We're going to give it a rating 1 through 10, 1 being the absolute worst, 10 being the most perfect Donald Trump portfolio ever. And we're going to talk about what we like, what we dislike. So here you go, Robin, 28K. Keep in mind, target is the 10 to 15X. You have 15% in Bitcoin, 15% in Chainlink, 8% in Solana and ETH, 7% in ADA and AVAX, 6% Algorand. And then you have some notable ones, 3% in Caspa, Karate Token 2.5, 2.5 in Phantom, 2.5 in IMX, 2.5 in Stacks, 2% in Gallimatic and Arbitrum. So this is a pretty diversified portfolio. And I don't know, to you, 10 to 15x, is that conservative? Is that pretty risky? What are your thoughts on
Pretty
this
risky.
portfolio?
Here's the thing: to get 10 to 15x, you're gonna have to land a couple hundred X's, right, on those smaller plays. Because you're not gonna get 10 to 15x out of Bitcoin. You may scrape it out of ETH if you time it right, which is damn near
That's
impossible.
$20,000 Ethereum.
So you already have 20. So 20, we can say 30% of your portfolio.
A 10x from Chainlink is for me, it's a foregone conclusion, right? $150, easy. Yeah. Anyways, continue.
I don't want to start the Chainlink argument. But,
Okay.
I would say
You got to be 100% honest, man. Don't worry about their feelings.
no, I 10 you're 10 to 15%. I just you might get it out of these alts. I think the structure of his or hers portfolio is structured in a way to nail the 10 to 15%, but you're swinging and you're probably going to miss. Higher risk.
Can this get 10 to 15% if he gets pretty close to selling the top? Because you got to remember, right? We always talk about laddering.
Yeah,
out
I
your
mean, we
position.
can say that. I mean, yeah, I mean, but that's not realistic. And what are you going to sell your entire portfolio? The thing is all of these are going to peak at different times, right? So BTC is going to peak at one point, and ETH will peak at 3 weeks later, or a month later, or 2 months later. Algorand and Avalanche and Cardano are going to peak at a different time than both Ethereum and Bitcoin. And then the alts, all those tiny ones, are going to peak at a different time. So to hit the top on one of them is already going to be a long ask. And to nail a whole portfolio at the top with this many assets, impossible. It's not even a possibility. You're not going to be able to sell the top on all these. And so if you nail a couple, and even then, you're going to also sell at the wrong time on a lot of these. 10 to 15x, I think it's a big ask, but I'll tell you what, I'll say this. For his diversification into small tokens or her tokens is structured in a way to swing for the fences. And so I think you're gonna either have a wash, and you're gonna have a portfolio that essentially is close to zero. Or I think you're also gonna get that 10 to 15x. Because I think the gains that you make on PTC and ETH and a couple layer ones will be mitigated by losses in these small caps. And
What
I think
What are you rating it?
it's a 9 for his or her goals, 10 to 15x. strong in the alts and into the small caps. What I would say is have more faith in Ethereum. I think that if you want a 10 to 15x, my ideal portfolio would be 5 to 10% in Bitcoin, and then go 30% in Ethereum. I think you're gonna if the Ethereum ETF goes live, I think there's a pretty good chance of it. I would lean more than 50-50 chance that you get an ETH ETF as well next year. With that said, go 30% on that. I think we get a 20x out of ETH, man. I think ETH damn near
20x.
yeah.
So
With the ETH ETF,
$40,000.
With an ETH ETF, I think that plus the deflationary.
If ETH is at but if ETH is at 40K, what's Bitcoin at?
I think they're neck and neck. I think
so. Then your argument is fallible because you can put it in Bitcoin if it's the same thing, right? ETH goes up 20x.
I think that people are going to look at the ETH ETF, and you're going to have venture capital. You're going to have investors. They're going to get a taste of Bitcoin. They're going to allocate some percentage. Remember, Ethereum was it 1/3? No, a quarter of Bitcoin. And so, if a 10x would put it at a $2 trillion market cap, so $4 trillion market cap on Ethereum. But I think the deflationary is going to shoot up the price. And so I don't think you need to hit the full 20x on Ethereum for where it is right this second. I think that its deflationary mechanism is going to shoot up the price. And so
you give it a 9? I think I also give this a 9.
Yeah. I would just say rely more on ETH, man. Go a little heavier on ETH.
No, I disagree. I think this portfolio was great. For me, 10 to 15x is pretty aggressive, right? And Bitcoin should be the anchor, but it looks like you got 28K and you want to YOLO in. Guys, you got to remember, a 10x is 1,000% return, right? It's not the stock market averages 8% over the last 50 years, 8%, and that is considered great, right? Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett were made millionaires, barely beating the S&P 500, and we're talking about 1,000% increase over the next 12 to 18 months. To me, you're pretty aggressive. So bring down your Bitcoin.
So
add a little more in Chainlink. Love Solana. Love ETH where it's at. Love Cardano. Love AVAX. Algorand could be a 20, 30x for you, depending on where you bought it. If you bought it at 10 cents like I did, that's a 30x just to get back to all-time highs of $3. Karate token, love it. Going to the event on Thursday, by the way. Phantom, it's a toss-up. Maybe throw something in like Kronos. Crypto.com has a crap load of money. No one's been talking about that chain, right? Just like no one was talking about Solana and it pumped. No one was talking about Avalanche and it pumped. Can we see the same thing from Kronos? Maybe throw something like that in there. Gala is an intriguing one at 2 cents. 35x to get back to all-time highs. If this thing takes off with the gaming sector, if you get a $2, $3 Gala, you're looking at that alone could just massively boost your portfolio. Matic, I don't know, but to me, this is overall a pretty good portfolio. Question is, would you be okay? Would you be okay with a 7x? I'm sure you would.
I'll say with Bitcoin, just to wrap up, just the mathematics there. I was just kind of looking at the Bitcoin ETH charts. If Bitcoin were to 10x, which I think it's a possibility. I'd say probably 25% chance it gets to 400,000 in the next bull market. What do you think? I know everyone's saying 100K, 150K, but
yeah,
I think 400,000, that would put market cap at $8 trillion on Bitcoin, and a 20x from ETH would put it at $4 trillion. So basically, it would just catch up to Bitcoin as far as
5 trillion.
5 trillion. But so a $5 trillion market cap for ETH, $8 trillion market cap for Bitcoin, and even then with $4 trillion and plus deflationary, I think you still get up to a 20x on the return for the token price. So,
well, what does the chat think? Rate this portfolio 1 to 10. Keep in mind, this person's goal is to 10 to 15x. Me and Rob are both at a 9. Rocco, where are you at?
I'm a little bit down. I don't know. I think that will change something. Definitely don't like the big player because this portfolio seems like a structure to struck some luck somehow with a small project. So why keep Bitcoin, Link, Solana, Ethereum? I will get rid of it. I will play a little more at this point.
Or Degen?
Yeah, of course.
Hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
There is no way I'm gonna keep a Bitcoin and Ethereum and this big player like that. It's probably try to get something more again.
I would move the
Nature?
BTC. I would move the BTC to ETH at least. That's I think is
I will get rid of it. I tell you, I will play something more like AI, even a small project, something very
now my
more
portfolio.
AI and
Yeah, my portfolio. I'm not messing with my BTC, but I'm not looking for a 10 to 15x within
exactly.
the next
So this is
within the
why I
next
don't
year
want
and a
it
half.
here. So I would,
Yeah, next year and a half. I think 10 to 15x. You gotta.
take those 3 out: Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe even Cardano too, and substitute and do everything like 8%. So get rid of these big chunks. Yeah, that's my idea. I'll give it a 7.
7? Okay. Fair enough. I see
Different approach, I guess.
Miguel Costa, 8 out of 10. Mike gave it a 9. Jesse gave it a 7. Billy gave it a shy of 9, 7.95. So interesting. I did mention Kucoin, my friends. Here's a piece of news from Kucoin. Settles with the New York Attorney General for $22 million and will depart the state of New York, supposedly the financial hub of the world. Right. KuCoin will exit the New York market, pay $22 million to settle with the New York Attorney General's office. The company will refund around 150,000 New York customers, using 16.7 million of that total sum, and 5 million will go directly to the state. It's a quote from Attorney General Letitia James. Unregistered offshore crypto platforms pose a risk to investors, consumers, and the broader economy. If you remember, KuCoin was sued by the New York Attorney General in March of this year. So if you're in New York, no more KuCoin. It's funny, right? You have a platform that's been around for a very long time. You have a platform that makes you do KYC if you want to withdraw money. And they're kicking them out. They're kicking them out. And what are people going to do? Well, they're just going to use a VPN and use a different platform. So good job protecting the investor, guys.
My thing is, are we going to get to a point, or not are we? At some point after we boot these companies out, they're going to try to bring them back, right? Just imagine if we were in the .com era and we were in a scenario where you got unfavorable regulation towards the internet, right? Let's just say that the government was like, hey man, you know what? We like this paper idea, traditional mail, print ads. We don't trust, and terrorists are using the internet, and child pornography is on the internet, and we don't want it here. And they send it off somewhere else. And then all of a sudden you have the .com boom, and the world explodes and the world goes digital. Do you think that if the internet had been built in Europe, if it had been built in China, if it had been built elsewhere, let's just pretend that that Apple's headquarters was in China and they built their entire empire, you think they would move back to the US 10 years later after we decide to adopt the internet?
Probably not.
No. And the same is going to be said for crypto. And so if you boot crypto out, you build an entire company overseas, and then all of a sudden, 10 years later, the rest of the world is using crypto on a day-to-day basis for all transactions, or at least majority of transactions. You think if the U.S. puts their hand up like, hey, y'all want to come back over here? Like, no. Nobody's going to come back to New York. The ship is sailing, and it ain't going to come back. Also, big shout out to some of the new people: Mastermind, 151 Crypto, Mr. Pringle, Timmy, Gareth, Williams, Invisible Cloak Productions, Matt Doras, GT Nuts, and Tiberius. To all of you, hola! Welcome.
Tiberius. Guys, make sure you are subscribed. If you're not a member, I would probably sign up for a membership. We are dropping a video on Avalanche and the ecosystem. 2 tokens I talk about in there that I believe have a potential for a big run-up. If you want the alpha before the public, members will get access first You'll get the information first, and then it'll go public. That video will be releasing in a few hours. Super excited for that. So make sure you subscribe to Sin City Crypto. Also have your notification bell pinged. Follow us on Twitter at Sin City Crypto 1. And thank our sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow, visit bluewiretech.com. And with that being said, Rocco! Straight up, Bitcoin, 52K, just like that, just like candle up. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure to come back tomorrow for an amazing show. We love you guys. On behalf of all of us here at Sin City Crypto, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin, it's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be